Welcome to another episode of Relics Radio. This is a family-friendly show, so the entire family can join us as we talk metal detecting, relic, and treasure hunting. You can also call in to the show at 270-495-0315 or join in the chat and post any comments or questions you might have. Relics Radio is also now syndicated on goodtalkradio.com and has a show each Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Arizona time. You're listening to Relics Radio of Southern Kentucky and Middle Tennessee. And you are live again on Thursday night with Relics Radio right here live on Spreaker. And we want to welcome all of our listeners on Spreaker, and we also want to welcome all of our syndicated listeners on Good Talk Radio around the country, around the world, and going to try and get a real good show together here tonight. We've got a wonderful guest and really looking forward to getting into this. We just dodged the storm, though, didn't we, Jeff? We
sure did. Well, it was a couple of places here last night that had 7 inches of rain. And then, of course, we had a bunch of rain pass us today. And right now, before I sat down, it looked like it was some storms headed this way now. So, I mean, it's just rain, rain, rain.
I know it. And Middle Tennessee had 2 tornadoes last night as well. There was one in Rutherford County and then another one somewhere, Wilson County, where my youngest daughter lives. A little bit of damage, like an F1 or something. It wasn't a big tornado, but any tornado's bad enough, you know. I mean, you could get killed in any of them. But it's just the rain and everything that near 80 here in southern Kentucky today, going to be 17 tomorrow night. What do you think about that?
Buddy, that's Tennessee, Kentucky weather right there at its finest. And, of course, our ground never freezes, but we have to wear our short sleeves one day and wear our long johns and our coats the next day.
Yeah, you just have to kind of get up and look out and see what the weather is doing and see how you need to dress and everything. Go ahead.
The hardest job for Kentucky and Middle Tennessee would be the weatherman. I mean, it would be a hard job to have.
It ain't a hard job because you can say anything. They're only right half the time. Only people I know that have a job that can only be right half the time and keep their job. Can you imagine being a doctor and doing that?
Man, well,
or an accountant?
In trouble.
Yeah. We got a great month lined up, and we kind of accidentally, or not accidentally, I guess we did this on purpose, but we kicked this off at the very end of January. But all of the month of February, we have a theme that's going, don't we, Jeff?
We sure do. It's the ladies of metal detecting.
And that's not all of the ladies of metal detecting that the people that we're going to have on this month. Want to kind of throw that out there so that we don't get the ladies that have already been on here mad at us or anything, you know. But we thought since February is Valentine month that we'd just go ahead and do the women of metal detecting, the ladies of metal detecting, and just have a whole month of that. And so we're gonna officially, I guess we kicked it off last week, but with Laurie Gagne. But we're going to continue it tonight with Carlotta Brandenburg. What's going on tonight, Carlotta?
Hello, how are you guys doing?
We're doing great. And I know that you've been battling some illness, haven't you, here over the last 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, I managed to get that nasty chest cold that's going around when we were at the SHOT Show. So But I'm doing better. A little coffee, but definitely doing better.
Well, that's good. Well, I'm glad you're doing a little bit better. So, how was the SHOT Show?
It was a lot of fun. We always have a ball. I mean, there's so much to see. I never see it all. I mean, even though we're there 3-4 days, you never see the whole thing. And there's just everything you could think of, from every gun and ammo and outdoor equipment and tactical equipment, and for everything from police officers to hunters, and then of course you have security. So that's why Garrett Metal Detectors is there, because they do the big security walkthroughs and the wands and along with metal detectors. So they really do a lot of stuff. So it's a kick. Of course, Tim's signing autographs, and I get to go run amok while he works. So it's a lot more fun for me.
Oh, I'm sure. So.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, Carlotta, how you got started into treasure hunting, metal detecting, and all that.
It started in California. I used to work for the phone company. I was actually a systems technician. So, I helped install the digital and dedicated data lines. And sometimes I'd be out, in the middle of nowhere, but there just happened to be a phone line there in order to run the pump station at the lake or what have you. And I met some people that did gold prospecting. And of course, anything shiny and gold is exciting for me. And so I met some people, and there was a little tiny group there that met, a little, they were they the gold prospectors? I don't think they were a little division of the Gold Prospectors Association. And so that's where I started, is actually with the gold prospecting and dredging before they shut it down in California. And so I bought my first metal detector back then. So that's probably been, oh gosh, I want to say I was around 35. So I'm 50 now, so it's been just a few years. And so I started there just actually looking for gold. And I had a mine lab, and would just putz around with my mine lab and just had a ball. And then when life changed and I moved to Texas and went back to school, and so I kind of put it away for a little while, and then I moved here to Arizona, joined back up with the Gold Prospecting Association, and started, metal detecting, going out. And mostly I was nugget shooting. So I found 7 nuggets just with that mine lab out here in Arizona, just going up the washes and just having a great time being outside. And then, of course, then Tim came along and things changed again. But mostly gold. And, of course, I found 7 nice nuggets. Tim has found 0, so I'm still the winner, and I like that.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
Now, what kind of mine lab was you using GPX?
No, I actually had the little the 705, the
Xterra.
Xterra.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that thing worked great. And I tried to start learning to do a little relic hunting with it, where mostly it was just gold, and I'd go to the parks with friends and what have you, and we go dig up coins and jewelry, silver rings and some gold rings and 5 million pop tabs, of course. But it was a great little machine, and it was great for a beginner, and I did really well with it. And then, like I said, Tim came along, and I was told that since he's sponsored by Garrett, that I wasn't allowed to have any pictures taken with the mine lab.
That is one of the drawbacks of being sponsored by a certain manufacturer, isn't it?
It is. I mean, I'm personally not sponsored. He is, but I said, well, I don't have a Garrett. It's when we were first dating, and he said, well, I'll leave one here for you. So that's what started that. But I mostly did gold prospecting. It wasn't into the relic hunting as much until Tim came along.
So
yeah.
Did you just use metal detectors for your gold prospecting, or did you do the dredge and all that?
I did a little bit of dredging in California before it was a big shutdown and all that controversy that's been going on. And then actually out here in Arizona, mostly classifying and running it through a recirculator. I had a gold well I still have a recirculating sluice, and we go out. There's a lot of gold here in Arizona, and we go out just up here, just down the road. There's an area we can go to, and we know kind of where to follow the gold, where it runs through the streams, and we classify it with a 1/4-inch classifier, and then run it through a recirculator. That way, we don't have to worry about having water. We bring our own water with us, fill up the bucket, and it just recirculates through a little pumping system.
Okay,
I've seen those like that just recirculates like that. And if you had a running stream, obviously it's easier just to put a sluice in there, but you're not always going to find that. What size nuggets are you finding out there? Or the 7?
I mean, my 7 aren't like giant, but they're probably like the size of your little fingernail, big enough that you're seeing it in your hand, but obviously not ounces. They're, like half a 0.45 or 50 grams. And I've got quite a few in my little stash. Of course, I hoard them, and once in a while I look at them and shake them around. But it's exciting. It's, to me, because no human has seen that little shiny piece of gold that's coming out of the ground. And so to me, that's kind of fun because I get to be the first person to touch it, pet it, and dash it away.
Yeah, it sounds like you've got a little bit bigger nuggets than 7 that I've been finding in Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky.
Yeah, you got to have some major magnification to see what and I tell you what, we processed how many 5-gallon buckets to get one little old color out of that whole pan?
I don't know. I didn't have enough fingers and toes to count all them buckets.
Yeah.
Well, come on to Arizona. Come on and visit. We'll go out. We'll go digging up some gold. No problem.
Well, it sounds good. Sounds inviting, I tell you. The ground is really hot there, isn't it?
Depends when you're detecting. It depends on the area. Some areas are really highly mineralized, which, of course, can be a problem with detectors. And some areas are not. Where I was up out of Wickenburg when we were nugget shooting, I mean, it was just smooth sailing. It was awesome. But if you go up out of Stanton, you've got a lot more stuff in there that's going to drive your detector a little crazy. So just like anywhere else, you've got hot ground and some areas that are just smooth to detect. So, I mean, that's if you're detecting. Obviously, if you're running a high bank or anything else, you're not going to have that issue.
Right. How did you transition then over into relic hunting? Was that something that happened quickly or just a little at a time or what?
It happened pretty quickly, and it's all Tim's fault because he likes relic hunting. He doesn't like looking for gold. Can you imagine? I've never heard of such a thing. But he's not patient enough, I think, for gold hunting, so we do more relic hunting. That's his thing. So it's all his fault. He started me on the relic hunting, and it's been exciting. I mean, who doesn't like to find some of these objects and little bits of history and fun things that are hidden in the dirt? And even here, when we first started dating, which was long distance, and I was still here in Arizona, I had a house in Phoenix, and of course he was living in Montana, but he came to visit, and there was a couple places that I got permission on in Phoenix, and we were finding relics, but I took him down there, and we just had a ball. Of course, he wanted to find I'd been finding U.S. Indian Services buttons,
Mm-hmm.
And so he wanted to find one of those, so we took him to that little spot so he could run amok. But, yeah, he's definitely more into the relics, and that's pushed me more into the relics and out of the gold fields.
Well, that's good. What is some of your best finds? I mean, well, say your best find or your favorite find.
My favorite is the U.S. Indian Services buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Are those the Indian Wars? Is that what you're talking about?
No. When they used to take, in the 1800s, they used to take the children from the reservations and put them in housing and basically deculturalize the people, and they actually would take the kids and put them in dormitories and have housing, and raise the kids almost like a military style.
Oh.
And so there were, U.S. Indian Services, kind of like their own branch of the military that would take care of these people, and it's kind of sad, really.
Yeah.
What happened,
but that was uniform.
The buttons are kind of.
Yeah, that was uniforms that they wore. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the buttons off their uniform. And my dear friend of mine, her husband is Navajo, and he had told me some stories that when he was young, he had stayed in one of these schools, as they call them, and that it was real difficult, real strict, like military type, where you had to fold the bed just right, and if you didn't, they unfolded it and made you keep doing it. And these were just kids.
Yeah.
And so, but anyways, that's some of the buttons I found with that bit of history, and even being able to talk to someone who lived the tail end part of that history. So to me, that was something to find.
Yeah, just made it come alive. Hey, we need to take a break right here. We'll be right back.
Hey, Seven, we's looking good in our new Relics Radio t-shirts.
Yeah, Ken and Mark Guthrie of Detectives.com done brung them to us.
Yep. And they makes other shirts, too.
Yeah, boy. Detectives.com can handle tees for your club, hunt, or any other promotion folks may have.
They even got the Wide Pride shirts.
Yeah, them boys does the manatee crawl.
Yeah, scooting on their bellies.
That's what I said. The manatee crawl.
Looks like slugs eating jelly.
So whether you hunt horizontal or vertical, tell the folks where they need to go, TJ.
www.detectives.com.
What do you think about that right there, Carlotta?
That's kind of a cute little commercial.
Oh, I love that commercial. We've been running that commercial for about 3 months now. I can't find a better one to do. And our good buddy, Plugmaster Ford, Jeff Ford, is the voice behind that. And we were talking about you and Tim. I've just got one question. How did a guy like Tim get a woman like you?
Well, it was an evil plot. I think it was an evil plot. When I was living in Phoenix, I was single, and I was doing really well, worked in ophthalmology, owned my own house, obviously gold prospected, doing really well, me and my cat. And at the Gold Prospectors Association Phoenix chapter, my friends were president of that local chapter and such. And so I'd hang out with them, and we'd go out on our monthly outings and such. And I guess Tim had been trying to join the Gold Prospecting Association in Montana, and he couldn't get anyone to help him. So he got a hold of the Phoenix chapter, and unbeknownst to me, my friends decided that I needed to date Tim. And I'm like, no, I really don't need to date. I've had enough. Men are not good. We'll just stick with my cat. And they start sending him text messages, and they start sending him pictures of me in a bikini because, it's Arizona. So, of course, I had a pool. And next thing you know, they're sending all these texts and messages, and it's like, what? I have no idea what's happening. The next thing you know, we're out on an outing, and they're like, well, here, you need to talk to this guy. And they shove a phone at me, and I'm like, I don't even know who I'm talking to. So we start chatting, and then just to appease our friends, we start talking on the phone. And the next thing you know, we talk, a couple more times. And then next thing you know, we're talking every day. And then we decide, well, maybe we should meet and fly from state to state and start hanging out. But so it's all our friends' fault because neither of us had planned on dating.
No, I can see you've got him hook, line, and sinker. It's
it's because I feed him.
You feed him, yeah.
Hey, that's a way to get to a man's heart is you feed him.
Yeah.
Poor thing. He was living on Tombstone pizzas and boxes of cereal.
Well, I'm married and I still live on that stuff. So what
Oh, me. And you can just tell and look at Tim. I mean, he's not one of those what we call wide prides. I mean, he's a skinny type fella for sure, no doubt. So did you start gold prospecting at first and then transition into relic hunting, or did he make you relic hunt to start with? How did that all go?
It's all his fault. He made me relic hunt. I mean, I started a little bit after we started chatting and talking, and then I go to the park with my friends, and stuff outside of gold prospecting. And so I was learning slowly as he was kind of pushing me to go more relic hunting, which is different. It's completely different than gold prospecting. Just what you're looking for landscape-wise or history-wise, it's completely different because obviously you don't always want to be in a ghost town or an establishment to find gold. You're out in the boonies following the schisty little, ways out there where you see the quartz and the geology and stuff of the land, which is completely different than looking for ghost towns or the history of the mining camps and such, where you're looking for different types of relics. So, but yeah, it's all Tim's fault.
So did you ever get him to do a little prospecting at first?
Yeah, he's done a little. I think he gets kind of bored because it's not as easy to find as relic hunting. So I think he gets a little frustrated and wants to just go run off and find a penny or a Wheatie or anything else, just go find something.
And I know why he don't like to go prospect is because he didn't find any nuggets, and you found 7, and no man wants his wife to outdo him, and so he says, "Hey, let's do some relic hunting over here."
That's right. Oh, and he does. He can detect circles around me. I'm not a fast detectorist, like where they have all these, contests and they're trying to get all as many coins as they can. I admit I'm slow. I just putz along. I just want to enjoy myself, and I feel bad I get in somebody's way.
So do you guys use the same detector now?
Yes. Yeah, we do. He was using the AT Gold when we started dating, and so he left an AT Gold at my house and said, start using this. So that's where I started, was with the AT Gold. And then, of course, now we're using the Max. But and I just basically, he says, okay, this is what we're going to use now, and this is what we're going to learn. And so off we go. And it's just fun. I mean, any machine, there's a lot of really good machines out there and different brands. And I'm not particular as to which one. I just like to be able to turn it on and hit the ground running.
Yeah, and of course, you get the Pro Series, and of course, they're real good machines now. Don't get me wrong. That was my first good machine, and I still love the AT Pro, and I will never get rid of it. So.
But I guess it was quite a transition from that 705 Xterra to an AT Gold, different frequency and all of that as well, wasn't it? Hello?
Did we lose her?
I'm showing her on. No, I guess we did lose her because she's calling back in.
Hi.
Hello.
Did I lose you there for a minute?
I don't know what happened. Yeah, I dropped off. I didn't know what happened.
I don't know either. I think we got a call that came in, though, maybe. We got somebody on the line?
Yeah, I think I see a number up there. Who is that?
Well, I was just calling in to see if I could get some gold hunting tips, because apparently I'm not very good at it.
What's going on, Ringy?
Not much.
Well, it sounds like you come to the right show to get some tips about prospecting.
Now, I don't know. I don't know if you were listening to the start of this segment or not, Tim, but I started this out. I said, how did a guy like Tim get a woman like Carlotta? Maybe you can answer that.
I still don't know myself. It's kind of incredible. I don't know. I mean, maybe I'm way more charming and better looking than I thought originally,
Must be. I mean, it's obvious, ain't it, Jeff?
It's obvious. You must be a lot better looking in person than you are on TV. Oh, I didn't mean.
Yeah. TV is like, severely worn me down. It's kind of like those things where you see a ghost or something that adds 10 years to your life and turns your hair gray.
Oh, me. Well, tell us your side of it. How has life changed since you and Carlotta got together, detecting-wise, and what have you on that side of it,
Oh, okay. I don't know what was said already, but is this like after we got married or after we met?
Well, after you met and after you got married.
Oh, okay. Because, let's see, it's been like about 4 years, I think. I'm probably going to get in trouble now.
Well, that's our hope anyway.
Yeah. So, we met, and then, we started seeing each other. And at the time, I think I was still doing the show. So I was traveling for that. And obviously now I travel even more than when we were doing the show. So every once in a while I'd fly back into Phoenix instead of Montana, and go visit her and stuff. And eventually, we just thought, well, this is ridiculous. We know we like each other, so we're going to, live in the same town. And we moved her to Montana. And did you tell that whole story already or not?
I did not. I did not tell that story.
Okay.
I actually moved into a house next door to his house. So we didn't live together. We lived next door to each other.
Next door to each other. And then, of course, one question, did y'all metal detect each other's yard?
Yes.
That's true romance right there.
It sure is.
I had a head start since I lived there already. I basically metal detected the whole block already before he got there. So.
You done found all the silver halves and all that, and just left her the pop taps.
That's right. But here's kind of a funny story. When we first decided to move her up there, we took the big step. We moved her on Thanksgiving weekend, and KG and I had to go film a show in St. Croix, on the islands, which is, we have a tough life. That's the kind of stuff we have to do. And so we move her in, and on Thanksgiving, we're in the mountains in Montana, so it decides to snow like 10 inches as we're unloading furniture, and it's just coming down. And she was born in Arizona and is used to the heat. And so it snows like crazy, and I'm like, okay, we got all the furniture in. See ya. I'm going to St. Croix. And so I leave her up there. It's like 30 below zero, and I'm texting her pictures of me and KG having a beer, swimming out to the swim up bar and stuff, out on the islands and stuff. So, needless to say, that didn't go over really well.
Bless her heart.
I'm in Montana with no heat, with nothing but a heater blanket and a space heater, 30 below.
And you barely had time to get the TV turned on and the phone turned on and electricity turned on, and then here you are left in 10 inches of snow, no heat, and they're like, well, why did we move out here? Why didn't we move where I was?
Yeah, in that moment, I'm thinking, what have I done?
Now, did you at this moment did you call your friends and say, "See what y'all got me into"?
Yes, I did.
And she said,
hear all about it.
Yeah, she said, I can't say what I said because FCC rules, but I'm sure that you had a few choice things to say. But obviously, everything worked out for you guys, didn't it?
It did. And we're back in Arizona. Yay!
Yeah, I can hear the excitement in his voice now. Yay!
Yeah, we're here. No, it's actually
hot.
Pretty awesome. What I love about it is, we don't live down in Phoenix, so it's always like 20 degrees cooler up here in the mountains. We're still a mile high. So, it actually snows here occasionally. But the thing is, now I don't have to mow anymore and I don't have to shovel. So it's a double win for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And then, during the summer, it's kind of cool up on the mountain. And then if you want to go swimming, you can go off the mountain and go swimming, I'm sure.
Hey, guys, we need to run another commercial, and we'll be right back. If your passion is metal detecting, then you know how much your success is based on the equipment you use. Let my buddy Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, help you with that. Tim is an authorized dealer of Mine Lab, Garrett, XP-DES, and macro detectors and supplies, and also carries many aftermarket items. Murray Branch Outdoors is not only competitive in their prices, but the service after the sale is second to none. Tim not only sells detectors, he uses them, and so he can answer any question that you might have. Murray Branch Outdoors also deals in used detectors, and he'll take your old detector in on trade when you decide to upgrade. So give Tim Henderson of Murray Branch Outdoors a call at 615-948-4611 or visit his website at www.murraybranchoutdoors.com and be sure and tell him Relics Radio sent you. And I noticed that Tim is in the chat tonight. He is our dealer of choice, a great guy to deal with, a great guy to hunt with. And we're going to go to Digging in Virginia in March with him and Ron. They're going to go along with us, me and Jeff, and that's going to be a fun time, isn't it?
I believe it will be. Of course, it's a lot easier driving with somebody in a vehicle with you for like 10 hours than it is by yourself. So I'm sure we're going to have an adventure starting out.
Yeah, I'd
it's
say
going to be fun. So we got a couple of questions. Little Emily, Miss Dirt Digger, was wanting to say hi to Carlotta, and then
hi Emily, hi. She's a cute guy.
Did you, Carlotta? Did you see what she found this last week?
No, I didn't.
You haven't seen that yet? They did a live video. Yeah. They did a Facebook Live to start with. She found a U.S. box plate, her first one, and they did a live Facebook. Kidding. And she was just nonchalant. You know how she is, just perky and happy and jumping around. I'm going to pull it out of the hole. And I think Shannon had an idea or thought that it was going to be a plate, and he was saying, no, wait. We want to get everything together here, you know. And so she's counting down 10, 9, 8. And she pulled that out, and she turned and looked at it and had that U.S. staring back at her, and it dawned on her what she found. And, she ran off, and there were tears of joy with that little girl. It was an amazing video.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, that's just awesome. That's what makes this hobby so fantastic. Not just, kids get excited, but adults too, because I've seen Tim cry when he pulls something out of the ground. Little tears of joy.
But it wasn't a gold nugget, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Sorry, Tim. There was another question on there too, wasn't there, Jeff? Go ahead and ask it.
Yeah, what about your honeymoon in Australia? How did that go? I was told to ask about that.
It was so awesome. I had the best time, just the absolute best time. And their history and their country mimics ours in the gold rush, in the Industrial Revolution. So the artifacts are very similar in that sense. And, it was just a fantastic time. And the birds and the kangaroos and just the jungle, and it was just awesome. You could go on for like hours just on Australia. I'm ready to move there. It was just so fun. And Warren and Colleen. Yeah. Warren and Colleen were great.
Yeah. I've seen some of your pictures, and it looked like a great time. The only thing, in the water there, they have bigger fish than I do here in Middle Tennessee. So swimming in the ocean there would be a little strange for me.
It was fun. Yeah.
Go ahead.
Want to jump in there?
Yeah, go ahead, Tim.
Oh, I was just going to say about the fish, if you're up too far north or whatever, you don't really want to jump in there, especially at the time of the year when the man of war jellyfish are out and all the giant crocodiles. But if you're down further south and stuff, you can get in the water and all that. It just depends on where you're at and everything. But CB and I actually got to do a couple dives while we were there too, and saw a couple of these weird camouflage-looking sharks. We put a Facebook video out just right on the Facebook page or something, but it's kind of cool. You can see all the weird stuff we saw there.
It would be pretty neat, but, I mean, everything in Australia, I mean, if it bites you, it's going to kill you, most likely.
Well, it's a lot like Texas.
That's right.
Do what? What'd you say?
That's a lot like Texas.
Oh, yeah.
Snakes and spiders and ants.
Yeah, and horned toads. Don't have them in Kentucky and Tennessee. Of course, everybody knows I was born and raised out in West Texas. We had a lot of critters out there that you don't have here. Jackrabbits. We had a guy come, well, it was actually one of my cousins. He came from Kentucky and came down to visit us, and he said, the only thing I want to do is shoot a jackrabbit whenever I'm there. And so we took him out one night. Of course, it was legal to hunt with spotlights there at night and everything. You could shoot coyotes or shoot jackrabbits or whatever, And so he says, there's some right there. And he throws the gun out, and Daddy pushed the light over that way. And his guy had a bunch of antelope over there. He said, what in the world are you doing? So that's just the way that people think, everything's bigger in Texas. And he thought those antelope were jackrabbits.
I know the rattlesnakes. We have rattlesnakes here, but the rattlesnakes in Texas is as big as telephone poles. And, I mean, it's outrageous. If you run over one, you're going to get stuck.
Hey, Tim, did y'all detect any when you were in Australia?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had a blast. We went to, 4 or 5 different sites. We hunted on the beach a little bit, but they have these kind of, where we were, they have those beach cleaning machines, and they run them every day, so they're picking all the garbage up with them, and it picks all the good stuff up sometimes too. But we found a few modern coins there, but when we went inland to some old places that they had set up for us, man, we did fantastic. I mean, I think there was one day the 4 of us went into this place, and it was one of those times where you're hitting a spot that nobody's been to. I mean, there was just no doubt. I mean, I walked in, and the first signal I got was a sterling silver pocket knife, which I've never found before, and it had the old English markings like they do on silverware where you can date it. It was just an incredible thing, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And then like 10 seconds later, Carlotta pulls out like a shilling from the 1800s, and it was on. I think we found almost 60 coins between the 2 of us, or 4 of us, and I can't remember, it was a huge percentage was silver. We found a couple like $50 silver coins, and what was it? Like, I think Carlotta found 6 silver coins just by herself, and I think I found maybe 5 or something. It was just fantastic. I just like Carlotta said, it was, we just talk about it all the time. It's like, how fast can we get back there? Because it's just, we just have a lot of fun when we're there.
It's a beautiful place. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures and things. And we actually have a faithful listener that's been with us for a while. Chris Cook is in Australia, and we sent him a Relics Radio T-shirt over to Australia. He's supporting us over there. He has called into the show before, but the time difference, it's when our show starts, it's like 11 or 12 o'clock noon there, so it's a little bit hard for him to catch the show live, but I know he does listen to the archives. And we've talked to him a little bit about, relic hunting and stuff, which is what he's interested in as well. But how many is detecting as big in Australia, the relic hunting side of it? Now, I would say that the gold side of it is, but relic hunting, is it as big there as it is in the States?
I would say no.
I would say no as well. I think it's becoming a thing there. More and more people are getting interested in it, but Australia is so known for the gold fields and stuff. I think people are more interested in going there and actually, striking it rich or doing it as a living, like as an income and finding gold, as opposed to, they kind of look at you like you're insane. It's like, oh, you're going to spend all this money and go out and find $3 worth of old pennies. I mean, they're like, they look at you like you're just completely lost your mind, which most of us have. So I guess that's probably a normal thing.
Yeah, most of us have.
And I did find gold while in Australia. I'm the only one that found gold.
Well, you're just a gold hog, ain't you?
She hogs it all.
What she's listening for, that gold.
That's a good woman to have right there, Tim. One that can find the gold for you.
Yeah, so you don't have to buy her a gold ring. She can just melt her own gold down and make her a ring. So there you go.
Exactly. Yep, it's a win-win for me.
We got another question out of the chat. Chevrolet, have you both been to Carson City and dug some of them silver and gold coins?
No, but I'd like to.
I bet Tim could hook you up.
I've never been there. Never been to Carson City. I have found a Carson City coin, but that's my only claim to it.
Yeah, I've got one coin. That's it. That's as close as I've gotten. So.
Yeah. Talk about some of the places that since you guys have got together that you've had the opportunity to travel to.
Oh, together?
Yeah, together.
England. We've been to England a couple times together. The Netherlands, France, obviously Australia. That's where I've been out of the country with Tim. And we're going to be in Germany this year in August, so I get to go to Germany for a week, so I'm excited about that. We're going to Kauai. We've been to Kauai. We're going to go back there and go detecting on the island, so that'll be exciting. But it's so far, England is amazing to detect in, and Australia is amazing, and I look forward. I mean, everywhere is exciting. Even I want to go to every state in the United States just to see what's there. So I get all excited. So I don't know, maybe Tim wants to jump in.
No, those are the places we've been. It's really been awesome. And we're, I'm kind of excited to go back to Kauai again. That'll be fun. And I always look forward to going to Germany just because of my family history there and stuff. It's just kind of cool. But
And Carlotta told me that you speak fluid German. Is that right?
That is true. I mean, everybody knows when I'm speaking to them, they all know I have this terrible American accent. But I can definitely get by.
Well, why don't you do us a favor then and give a special shout out to all of the listeners of Relics Radio over in Germany and do it in German.
Oh, man. Okay, way to put the pressure on me. All right. Wir freuen uns, dass Sie Relics Radio in America zuhören. Also, gute Funde. How's that?
That was perfect. Perfect.
Sounds good to me.
You know what he said, Jeff? I'm sitting over.
The FCC wasn't listening.
He said to all the people in Germany, "I'm sitting over here in America right now with two idiots on a show called Relics Radio." What have y'all got planned as far as trips this year? I know that y'all have got some events that you're going to that are coming up.
Oh. I'll tell you, we got, let's see.
We have the Garrett Memorial Hunt first.
Yeah.
Right? March.
Yep. Garrett Memorial Hunt. CB's going to go to that one with me. And the very next weekend, CB's going to Florida with me. We're going to be at the CFMDC Sunshine Hunt. That'll be the first time we do a Florida event, I think. I know we did a Calico
I've never
event,
been to Florida, so that'll be fun for me.
And for those of you that don't know, we had a special announcement show back earlier, and Tim and KG were both special call-in guests that night, and y'all promoted that Central Florida metal detecting event that you're going to. That'll be great.
I'm looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, they spent a lot of money on the hunt that they're putting on. I mean, it was. I seen Mark Hoover. He bought a bunch of relics at the Civil War show in Charleston, and I mean, it's some really great relics that's going to be in the ground.
Oh, that's going to be cool. Yeah. I hope I find
just meeting all the people. Meeting all the people is just a kick for me, and getting to know all the people that we chat with on the phone or message, and actually going and hunting and hanging out and, having a meal and a laugh. That's, to me, is going to be one of the best parts. I mean, the treasure is awesome too, but it's the people, that make it even more fun.
I agree 100% because we do go and do some live shows at we did a live show in South Carolina, and we've done a live show at Chattanooga at a relic hunt there, and we've done live shows at DIV. But the best part of that is all of the people that you meet. Hey guys, we need to take another commercial break, and we'll be right back. If you want to keep up with what's going on in the metal detecting world, then you need to be a subscriber to American Digger magazine. Butch and Anita Holcomb are the publishers of the magazine and have won awards for 3 straight years for being the best digger magazine on the market. American Digger magazine is available in both print and digital formats, so no matter where you live in the world, you can enjoy the latest happenings in the hobby. You can get in touch with American Digger magazine by going to americandigger.com or give them a call at 770-362-8671. And be sure and tell them that you heard it on Relics Radio. Couple of things that I will add to that. I'm going to put in another plug for my article that is in American Digger magazine this issue, January-February issue of The Great Silver Hoard with Jeff Ford, Wes Stringer, and Chris Heimsoff. And also, I guess, go ahead and officially announce that I'm going to be, not this Monday, but starting next Monday, I'm going to be part of the Relic Roundup team on their podcast. So looking forward to that as well. In this segment here, we had talked earlier, Carlotta, you've got a quilting company, don't you? Tell us about that.
I do. I have a long arm quilting business. I for years have been an art quilter, and I've taught classes and done some guild shows. But I do long arm quilting. So I work from home with my giant, $20,000 machine. It's like having a Toyota parked in the spare room, and that's what I do. I help people finish their quilts so that they can have gifts for their family and treasures to pass around. So yeah, and I enjoy it. I do. It gives me the freedom to be able to take a day off and go treasure hunting, or to travel with Tim or whatever needs to be done, and it gives me just wonderful opportunities. So yeah, I'm a quilter. Woohoo!
And I've seen some of your work on your website, which is Singing Cat Quilts. Of course, I guess it's .com, and of course that's your Facebook page, right?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page, but there is a website. You can Google it. I do have customers that send me quilts from out of state, so they can look at patterns and different things on there. But yeah, and I've been bad. I haven't kept up my Facebook page for the company. I usually post pictures of the quilts, customers' quilts, or my own quilts, whatever I'm working on, and I've just been posting to my regular page. I've been I've slacked a little bit. I need to get in there and start posting some pictures. They're really, quilts are happy. I don't think I've ever seen a quilt that wasn't a happy quilt.
That's right.
Gives people comfort. There's comfort, and Yeah, I love quilts. Even my cat, I make him quilts.
I was gonna ask you, how in the world did you come up with the name Singing Cat Quilts?
Well, obviously, I have a naked cat. In case people don't know, I have a Sphinx. He's naked. And have you ever heard cats sing? You know, they sing and meow and carry on. You know, he kind of sings from time to time. So I just seemed like a given. And he's hairless, so he doesn't get any fur on the quilt. But yeah, he's my little inspiration, my little naked kitty.
Oh, okay. So the cat was born that way. You didn't shave him and make a quilt out of it.
No, I did not. Poor little guy was born pink and wrinkled.
I was thinking, well, Tim done it. That's what happened.
Hey, Tim is still on here. You've got to tell me what your reaction was the first time that you saw that naked cat. And remember
limitation again.
Yeah. Remember, we're syndicated and there are FCC restrictions. But what was your reaction?
Well, at first, I was afraid to actually even touch it because it's so weird looking, you know. Yeah. So. But, you know, I overcame my fear, and now we're pretty good buddies, actually. You know, we'll wrestle around and stuff. It's pretty awesome. And he's just pretty weird. It's the only cat I'm not allergic to because he doesn't have any hair or something.
They were made for a reason, I see.
And I know what she was talking about. You've heard cats sing. I know what her cat is singing. I'm cold. Make me a quilt.
I'm cold. Yeah.
You know, the first thing that crossed my mind, and I guess it's bad, but first thing that crossed my mind whenever I saw the picture of it on the Facebook page was, y'all remember the show Kindergarten Cop? And he brought the ferret into school, and one of the kids said, "What happened to your dog, man?" That kind of crossed my mind. I wanted to ask Carlotta, what happened to your cat, ma'am? If you guys haven't seen this, now don't do it now because I want you to stay on the show with us here. But you have got to go to Carlotta's Facebook page, and you've got to see this cat. It's something like you have never seen in your life.
There's actually
one
of our there's one of our you know, those quick hitter videos we do occasionally.
Yeah.
There's one that's just about the cat like jumping in the air or doing stuff. So you can always go find it there too.
Yeah, Mark put on there, if you lived on a farm, it would scare the rats out of the barn. It wouldn't eat the rat; the rats would run.
Yeah.
And Carlotta, you and I were talking prior to the show. You're talking about your quilting and everything. We had a real rough winter here one time, and I just got the idea that I was going to try that because. You know, from the mechanical side of it, just putting things together. And I actually made a quilt for each of our 3 daughters, and we gave them to them this Christmas. And I was telling you that there were, I believe there were 6 young ladies that go to our church, and all of them had babies that one year. I made all of them a baby quilt, and everybody was saying, "What kind of guy is this that makes quilts?"
It must have been a cold winter.
It was.
That's why there's so many babies. Mm-hmm. But you know, there are quite a few men that are quilt artists, and they've got a huge following, and people clamor to see the patterns and designs they make and get quilts made by them. I mean, it's a big deal, and it's very. What people don't realize how mathematical it can be, you know, because you're dealing with a lot of measurements and angles, and then you've got to put it all back together and to create some of these amazing patterns and even the history of quilts. I've got a quilt that I rescued some of the blocks that are pre-Civil War, and they were handmade little pieces by some ladies prior to the Civil War with their scraps of fabric. And it's another piece of history and another treasure that we continue to make these days and pass on. So it's all connected in there. Treasure hunting.
That is exactly right. I remember my grandmother used to make them, and then of course she kind of passed it on to my mother. But it's unreal how many times you go through like a city or something, and you'll see an old quilt just throw in a trash, and see, that's history itself. And I mean, if in the 1920s or even earlier, some of them quilts are worth a lot of money. And I've seen that machine you had at your house, and I was like, man, Grandma didn't have nothing like that. So.
No.
But, if I saw that quilt in the dumpster, I'd be in there dumpster diving.
I would
sure enough, yeah, I did.
Out of that dumpster.
I would too.
If you don't want it, you send it to me.
Yeah. I've got a follow-up question, and it has to do with relic hunting because we hunt a lot of colonial sites, late 1700 sites are what I'm talking about. And we find a variety of sizes of thimbles, and we find a few thimbles that are so small that they had to be used by a child. No lady's fingers I wouldn't think would be that small. Was that a family deal that all of the girls worked on quilts whenever they made them back in the day?
Well, and the thimbles weren't just for quilting. The thimbles were used because they would hand sew their clothes or do embroidery work. And even the history of crazy quilts, it was more of the more to-do families, the more wealthy families had the time for the ladies and the young ladies in which to do the needle arts. So you have thimbles for children because they were learning to do these pristine cross-stitching and needle arts and embroideries, and then moving into the quilting and applique. So absolutely. I mean, even making your clothes, I mean, you don't want to stick that needle in your fingers. I mean, you're all that working through fabric for all those petticoats and beautiful things that they wore. They needed those thimbles for that. And children, and I think ladies were more petite. There were a lot of very petite people, and so you have little thimbles.
Well, that answers a question that I've often had, and I just always visualized that all of the boys would be out in the field, helping Dad with the crops and cutting wood and stuff, tending to the animals and things. And all the young girls would be with Mom, learning to cook and sew and all that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, can I interrupt?
Sure.
I actually have a legit question about thimbles now, because we find so many of them, as detectorists. But I can't believe I haven't asked my own wife this before. But sometimes you actually find thimbles and they don't have a top on them. They're just the round part. You know what I mean? And why do some thimbles have, just an open hole at the top when most of them are closed in?
I can answer that question. I'll let you go first, Carlotta, but I can answer that question.
No. I want to hear. I would like to hear your answer.
I did a history clip, and on my YouTube channel, I include a history clip each week. And I do it on a variety of things, just everyday finds that you find, nothing spectacular, But I did some research on thimbles, and people were so poor back in the day that they couldn't afford a wedding ring. And a lot of the women, in order to make a wedding ring, would take a thimble and cut the top off of it, and that's what they wore as a wedding ring.
No way, really?
Yep. And it was fairly common, and I've found some, and I thought, that the top probably just rusted off of it or deteriorated away. But this, Tim. The top of a thimble is probably the thicker part of it. The sides would go away before the top would, as far as it deteriorating in the ground.
Yeah, weird. I never ever thought about that. Yeah,
it is strange. I mean, of course, I found a bucket full of them with the tops gone, and I've always wondered, well, why is this top missing? And of course, some of them you could tell it was cut, but other they just look plain. I mean, they look like they were made that way, but after he did his history clip, I mean, that's the way they done it. So it's pretty neat.
It's amazing what you find out whenever when you just research everything that you find, garden hose, anything that you find. I found a Goody hair clip, And come to find out, it started in like the 1920s, and it was trying to mimic a hairstyle that Betty Davis made famous out of Hollywood. And, you just find it and you film that little clip that you found, and, somebody said, oh, it's just a hair clip, but then you do a 2-minute history clip on it, and it makes that relic come alive. The history comes alive to you.
Yeah.
Well, people don't think about little things like hair clips. I found a Roman hairpin the last time I was in England, where they used to braid their hair, and they had these, pins, a hairpin to hold their braids in place, and there's hairstyles. And so, adornment and the jewelry and the hairpins have been around since people styled their hair. It's just awesome.
It is, and just the history of stuff that comes out of the ground. I'm going to do a follow-up on something that Jeff asked earlier. You guys have been to England, and to me, that would be my dream place to go and detect. But what is the best thing that you guys have found and pulled out of the ground in England?
For me, I found a wonderful Roman fibula the very first time I went. And that was pretty awesome. The coins are great, but the fibula was like, okay, that was on someone's clothing, and what were they doing, and how did they lose that in this site? What was going on, and then the hairpin the last time. I found, again, Roman coins and different things, but to know that she wore it in her hair and how it might have been styled, and, did it fall out while she was getting water or, lounging around eating grapes or something, you think of what Roman women might be doing. So for me, that was my awesome find. I know Tim has got me trumped like 100 times over with his stuff, but that's what I thought was just exciting, and the history and what was happening in that moment in time when it was lost.
What about you, Tim?
CB, that was an awesome fibula, but I think on the same trip, she also found a perfect Roman hairpin too, and it was like absolutely perfect. Most of them are broken, so that was pretty cool. And what else? I know she was part of the silver hoard that all the guys found.
The hammered coin.
We all got at least one of those silver coins. We found they're from like 1180 to 1250 or something. It was pretty fun just to say that we were part of it. I credit Bo with finding the actual, we call it Hammered Hill, but he was nice enough to invite us over, and we all just beat that hill to death.
Well, you found the bulla, the Pope's seal.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I just got on a crazy streak. The last 3 trips to England, every time I found something more than I could ever have asked for, I know that I have a piece in the museum there now, that thing from the early 1400s from Pope Pius II. It was a Vatican. Well, it wasn't even called the Vatican yet, but what would become the Vatican.
Vatican then. Yeah.
Yeah. It was a document from Rome sent over there with a silver dollar-sized lead seal on it, and I actually found the seal off of that document. And it had 2 saints' faces on one side, and it said Pope Pius II on the other. And it was pretty awesome.
Doesn't that make you?
The next 2
Doesn't that make you just shudder, though, whenever you hold in your hand something with that great historic value?
Oh, yeah. It's, and that's incredible. 1400s, it's pretty awesome. And I know I found things older than that, but that was just something that you knew it was like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. That was never going to happen to you again, The chances would be like getting struck by lightning twice, I guess, or something. But I suppose it could happen. But then, our new shows are coming out this spring, and that one will be in one of the shows, and then another thing will be in the same show. I found something from 900 BC that's going to be on there too. And then the trip after that, there's a quick hitter out there. My last trip to England, I found a mixture silver and gold coin from 50 BC, and it was in perfect condition. So I was like, all right, I don't know what's going on, but this is like getting ridiculous.
Yeah, you must be living right. Hey, why don't you go ahead and put a plug in on that show? Some people may not know where to find your shows at.
Oh, yeah, the first season's out there at diggintv.com right now. You can just go watch them anytime you want. And
YouTube.
They're on the YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is Anaconda Treasure, just like our website is anacondatreasure.com. But if you're on YouTube and you search for Anaconda Treasure, that channel has all of those quick hitters, the naked cat videos on there, and then also all of our shows. The diggintv.com, that's just an interface that will take you to the TV shows specifically, so you can just click on a TV show and immediately start watching it. But it basically pops you up onto the YouTube channel. So all 9 shows from last year are on there that aired on the Pursuit channel. And then this spring, we're just going to put them directly onto Diggin' TV and let you see them instantly. So there's going to be 10 more coming out. And as long as we're on the subject, obviously one will be about England and have some of that stuff in there. There's one from the Netherlands. There's one in Montana. One in Montana, one in Iowa. There's a Kansas one. There's some pretty cool stuff. We got to do a bunch of U.S. stuff. So there'll be like, there's one that's got, it's about the war of, not 1812, but the Philippine-American War, which nobody ever talks about, but we found some interesting history there related to that. And so that's going to be kind of an interesting show. But what my point is, there's going to be a few of the episodes, actually several of them, that I don't know, most of the viewers probably only know me from Diggers or whatever, but before KG and I ever had a TV show, we had these weird DVDs called Extreme Metal Detecting, and we did 6 of them. They were 1 through 6. And we always, had been filming for EMD7, and it just became this joke and a mythological thing because we got the TV show, and it's been, 10 years or so of this old footage that just sat around. And part of this new season now is going to be EMD7. It's actually completed. And I just laugh so hard every time I see it because it's this footage of us that's 10 plus years old. And we're like, I'm already skinny, but man, if you see me in these things, it's just like I must have weighed 100 pounds. It's hilarious. And my hair's jet black, and it's just funny. So there's some pretty funny stuff. Yeah, there'll be. Yeah, and there's our best finds that we ever had back in the day before we had the show, like some seeded coins and dollars and, the things that we had found that were just the best of the best will be in it. And it's just funny watching us react because it's obviously us just holding, wobbly cameras and running around screaming, and we were just freaking out. It's just pretty funny stuff.
So, man. It's I can't wait to see it. Now you have
bigger cameras.
Hey guys, we got a couple of callers in. Denny is up first. Denny, have you got a question for either Carlotta or Tim?
I do for Tim.
Okay.
Hey Tim, this is Ring Finder.
Ring Finder, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hey buddy, what's the neatest thing you found in Germany? I watch German YouTubes all the time. Finding, World War II things. So what's the neatest, and do you hunt there, and is it allowed to hunt there? Are you allowed to hunt there?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of questions there. So I'm gonna start, can you hunt there? Yes, you can, but I think different states have different rules. So,
right.
There's certain parts where you have to have a Genehmigung, which is a kind of like a license, permit. That's it. Yeah, so you need some special permission, and like in England, you have to report it to the liaison officer or whatever. And then there's other places, I think down south in Bavaria or something, that's more lax, more like the U.S., where, if it's private land, you can go hunt it. I think. I don't know, because I really don't ever hunt there. Where we get sent are these other places where, Garrett has us go do these events. And we've hunted a lot in Germany at events, but they're rallies, and not so much, just open fields where we're just off wandering around. I think part of it is because of the war and the fact that there's a lot of dangerous stuff in the ground still. And when we did make a show there last season, which is out there on Diggin' TV, the same thing. It's the Germany show. I can't remember which episode it was, but it was the one where they were going to go, the coal mine was going to tear down this whole town. They bought the town and were literally ripping it down and removing all of the earth, like super, super deep. So it was like literally going to turn into air. And so we hunted this old church and stuff, and KG found this really cool World War II Nazi metal thing that said Tag der Arbeit on it, which means kind of roughly translates to like Labor Day for us, and it was really cool. We found a few things with swastikas on them that were, it's just a weird thing to find something like that, because it's like all of a sudden it makes it more real. It's not just some, army movie you saw on TV. This actually really happened, and it was, so yeah, it was really cool. We found some Roman stuff, some really old stuff in Germany, but I think, the short answer is you got to know, I would recommend going and hunting with somebody over there, or a local club, because they would know the rules better, I don't, I think they're pretty vary from region to region.
I helped return a mess kit from the Battle of Bulge from a guy who found it metal detecting there to a family here in Sydney, Ohio. So that's pretty special. Yeah.
That's great. Carlotta,
hey, Denny, we appreciate the call. I need to get to another call over here. And the last four numbers are 6891. Who do we have, and what's your question for Carlotta?
This is a question for CB, and I'm wondering when she's coming to Southern Ontario, Canada, and bringing Tim back with her. This is Pink Power Alley Treasure Hunter.
It is.
Girl, hello. I want to come visit. I don't know when we're going to come visit. I know we've talked about coming up into Canada to hunt even with Steve Z up there. So yeah. I would love to come up there. Hopefully not when it's frozen.
Yeah, not like the recent weather we've been having, but yeah, you're very inspiring. Your quilts are just amazing, and now you've got me wanting to try gold panning. So,
well, I tell you what, you come to Arizona, we'll take you out for gold.
Sounds great. Look forward to meeting you guys.
And I would love to see you. Are you gonna come to the event in Florida? Are you coming into the States on any events?
It's on my wish list. I'm not too sure, but I hope to.
Oh, well, I do hope to get out there and see you. We need to plan an event or get coordinated with one that's coming up. I would love to come out.
And my question is, how do you like scuba dive detecting?
I love it. And when Tim went to overseas without me, and of course I was jealous. So what did I do? I contacted the local dive master here in town, and I went to Mexico just to go diving. I didn't have a metal detector with me, but while we were diving in this one area there out of Mexico, I found a coin. I'm there swimming around with the group, doing our regular old scuba diving thing, and next thing you know, I take off because I see something shiny. And the dive master's like, "What is she doing?" And I pop up with the coin.
That's great.
And who is it that we have on the line? I missed your name there a while ago, and where you're from.
It's Pink Power Alley Treasure Hunter, Allison Walker from Southern Ontario, Canada.
Oh, Allison, you're going to be on the program with us.
I am.
We're excited.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys, have you and Carlotta hunted together?
Not
No,
yet.
I look forward to meeting her. We have so much in common. She's like my little sister.
Like your little sister. You ain't got a naked. You ain't got a naked cat, have you? Hey, Allison, you don't have a naked cat too, do you?
No, I don't. No, I've got some power sports equipment. They're naked.
Well, in Ontario, if you had
won't
one of them
naked.
cats, it'd freeze for sure.
I've done a naked street dance with my snowmobile helmet on to raise money for charity. I won't pull that one out of the archives.
And that's why this is an audio show.
Thank goodness.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you on, and I think that you and Carlotta do have quite a bit in common. It'd be interesting for you two to get together, and do some relic hunting or gold panning or whatever.
Yeah,
I would love to go hunting with her. I would love to go hunting with you, and even do some diving and just have a good time. And I mean, I watch all your posts and all the stuff you're finding in the rings and helping people and your fundraisers. I mean, you're inspiring. I would love to hang out with you.
So are you.
And for those of you that don't know, Allison is going to be with us, let's see, February the 28th on a Thursday night. And we're looking forward to that show. And Carlotta, you'll have to repay the favor. You'll have to call in when we have her on.
I would love to.
We thoroughly enjoyed Ringy and Tim up here at Toronto Island Beach. They were a blast. They were a lot of fun, and everyone just loved them. So hopefully they'll drag you up here too. But my door's always open if you do come.
Oh, thank you. I greatly, greatly appreciate that. And I would love to come up. I can't hardly wait. There's so many things and so many wonderful people. I really look forward to it. So definitely we have to plan something for this year.
Sounds good. And still working on that little project for you. So we'll keep in touch.
Oh, thank you. No worries. I can't wait.
Hey, great call, Allison. We appreciate you calling in and look so forward to having you on the show. You're going to be another interesting one to interview.
I'm a busy girl, but thanks for inspiring us, Carlotta.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. We'll see you in the last of this month then. Hey, guys, the
Thank you.
phone lines are still open. It is 270-495-0315. If you want to call in and chat with Carlotta, ask her a question, they're still open. Hey, Carlotta, you've obviously met some amazing people whenever you guys are out. Who would be some of those people that really stuck out to you?
Oh, my goodness. You actually want me to pick out certain people? There's so many awesome people. That's just not very nice of you. And there's so many wonderful people. I mean, honestly, and it's not always the people that you would expect, the people that are on Facebook and really out there. Sometimes it's the quiet people. And I kind of have a little bit of a rescuer personality, which gets me into trouble. But it's the quiet people, and the simpleness of it, and just the honesty and the integrity. There are so many really wonderful people. I just can't pick out one or two people. That's just not right.
I wasn't meaning for you to name one or two people, but like a group of people, that really inspired you, say in the Netherlands or in England or what have you, and why did those people inspire you?
Well, I'm going to interrupt and just say, based on the requirements that she just laid out, I'm pretty sure me or KG isn't going to be on the list. So I'm interested to see.
I'm going to change the subject briefly. I like to blackmail Tim. See, what people don't realize is when we're here at home, he likes to do things to be bad. Like, I'm in there trying to concentrate on my quilt job, and he comes running in my little room, butt naked, just running around naked and dancing and shaking his little hiney. And it's just like, really? So what do? I pick up my phone. Every phone has a camera, and I start taking pictures as his little naked butt's running across the house trying to get away from me. It's awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
And the cat right behind him.
Naked cat and naked Tim. I don't want to come to your house. I'm not coming to your house. No way. You couldn't pay me to come to your house.
Carlotta, does he still carry your metal detectors for you?
Sometimes, yes. Then he breaks them down and helps me pack them when we go on trips, so he's very sweet. And I feed him like a baby bird, and he packs up my detectors for me.
One other question. Has he ever dug a hole for you?
Yes, he has. Because, as I said, I'm not an expert. I just go out there, and sometimes I get frustrated. And he's come over, and he's helped me find my lost object in the giant hole I've dug to China. And he'll come over there. No, it's right here.
On the sidewall, most likely about 2 inches down. That's how it happens.
It's true.
And I would venture to say that he dug a hole early in your relationship rather than later. That's just the way we men are. Are you still digging? Yeah, you're still trying. Yeah, you're still trying to dig yourself out of running around naked with the cat.
That's right. I'm never going to live that one down.
No.
I got a mental thought, and it's never going to go away.
None of you can unhear that now.
No. And I am so glad that that's past the syndication part of the show.
It was clean.
Yeah, it was clean, yeah. But I can just imagine those people in
What is little Heine?
Yeah. And they call you the crazy cat lady, don't they?
They do. Crazy naked cat lady. Go figure. I have one cat, and I'm still crazy. I would have 100 naked cats running around the house if Tim would let me.
I just wonder what the cat thought whenever Tim come running in there with nothing on. Are you making fun of me? Oh, we have digressed a long way, I tell you, from relic hunting.
Life's an adventure.
Oh, it is. It is. I tell you what, Carlotta, you were a great guest tonight, and we appreciate you being on. Before you get away here tonight, though, tell everybody where they can find you, your Facebook, your webpage, and all of that.
Oh, sure. Well, obviously, Singing Cat Quilts. You can Google that. There's also Singing Cat Quilts on Facebook. And then I don't have any kind of a relic page. I'm just me, just Carlotta Brandenburg there on Facebook. And, of course, Tim posts. I'm in a couple little videos here and there, when I jump in and do something on Tim's Anaconda Treasure, on the quick hitters and different stuff on his channel. So I just tell people, go to Diggin' TV, that's where all the fun stuff is. I'm not sure everybody wants to see pictures of my naked cat all over the place.
I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of people going to go there tonight and look at it. But now
they just want to see the cat.
They just want to see the cat. Tim's not going to be there. Yeah.
So, Carlotta, can we look forward to seeing you on some of the videos on Anaconda?
I think so. I mean, I know I'm in a couple of the dive videos and a couple little quick hitters. And as we go and do things together, he usually includes me, which is fun. And I think even NQ Explorers there out of Australia, when they were here visiting, there might be some video. I think I'm in a little tail end piece when we were out digging, and I found a little little locket and stuff. But I'm in there from time to time. And maybe if more people asked him to include me, I might be in more. Me and my naked cat.
Yeah. Well, you got my vote.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, and
you hear that, don't you, Tim?
Everybody on the chat, they're all saying, "Put her in, put her in." We want to see more Carlotta.
Yeah, she's definitely in a bunch of the quick hitters. There's a couple of underwater dive videos and some other stuff out there. There's one from Hawaii and Cozumel, Mexico, where she's finding stuff. So, yeah, they're definitely there. And there'll be more because we just got, like, we talked about the honeymoon in Australia. We did great there. All that footage is just sitting there. We've just been too busy to do anything with it yet, but it'll get out there eventually.
My gold tooth will be in there. The gold tooth.
Yeah. Gotta have you finding.
Oh, me.
So that wasn't in somebody when you found it, right? It was just...
No, but okay. I should go back and check.
Hey, we didn't ask you, Carlotta, but what kind of setup are you using whenever you dive detect?
We've just been doing more shallow dives, so I've been using the AT-Max.
Oh, okay.
And in the salt water, I haven't really done. I mean, we've done some freshwater diving, but I really haven't used it in freshwater. It's mostly been salt. And then Tim has one of the Sea Hunters, and I need to get familiar with that myself so that we can go a little bit deeper. But we're going to be dive detecting when we go to Kauai in June, and we've got some spots picked out there where they used to have ships come in and trade ships and whaling ships into this one little harbor on Kauai. And I found a dump there the last time, and we were digging in an old dump because who doesn't like to dig in old dumps in Kauai? I was so excited. I found a dump.
That's right. I've seen, it's been a few years back, I've seen some guys, they'd put up some videos where they was bottle digging, and they were pulling out some good bottles.
Yeah. So, I mean, I get a kick out of that. I do. I'll dumpster dive and go to any kind of dump and bottle dig, and I love all that stuff. I just want to go play. So it's all good.
Well, you'll like that Sea Hunter. I had one of those, and that's what I always used on the beach in Gulf Shores, Alabama, when we'd go down there. You'll like that machine. Has very little discrimination because it's a PI machine, but you kind of learn what things sound like, but you'll enjoy that. Yeah. Anything that you want to add before we close the show out tonight?
I just appreciate you wanting to talk to me and having me on the show. I mean, it's kind of surreal because I don't think of myself as anybody in particular. And I mean, it's not like I have a YouTube channel of my own or anything like that. And I just like hanging out with the people and hunting and seeing this beautiful country in different places. And I'm grateful that you asked me to come hang out with you guys on the phone and on the radio and chit chat. It really has been a wonderful experience, and I just want to say thanks.
Well, you're very welcome, Carlotta. And I mean, it was our honor, really, to have you on our show. And I mean, you seem like a down-to-earth person, and I mean, you seem like somebody that I could get used to. I mean.
That's what Tim said too. Yeah, you're somebody that I could get used to. And if you guys are ever down our way, be sure and holler at us, and we'll hook up and go somewhere. And if we're ever out in Arizona, we want to get into some gold out there too.
Oh, absolutely. You're welcome anytime. And I know sometimes with Tim traveling so much out of the area, it's just me. So once in a while, I'll get out there and, go to other places or other states and hang out. So sometimes it might just be me coming to play.
Fly into Nashville, Tennessee, and we're just a skip and a hop away from there. We'll sure hook up with you and put you on some places. But you've been a great guest, and we certainly do appreciate it. It was our honor to have you on the show tonight, and to tell your stories and to share your adventures with us and with all of our listeners. You guys hang on there for just a little bit. Go ahead, Jeff, and I'll let you have the last word here.
Well, I just want to thank everybody for being here in the chat, and thanks for all the callers we had. And thanks, Carlotta and Tim, for being on here and letting us just pick your brains for a little bit.
We enjoyed it.
Okay. If you enjoy podcasts like this, we want to remind you to check out Beyond Sight and Sound on Sunday night and Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. All Metal Mode is on Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. American Digger Relic Roundup is on Monday night at 9 o'clock Eastern. Hardcore Metal Detecting has a show on Thursday night and Saturday night at 8 o'clock Eastern. And there is a new podcast on Spreaker now. It's called XP Team USA. And they're having a show every other Friday night. And obviously, me and Jeff here at Relics Radio will be back this next Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And we will be on Good Talk Radio and the Cutting Edge Network, Arizona time, 2 o'clock every Sunday. We'll see you then. Thank you so much for joining us on Relics Radio. We really do appreciate it. Be sure and join us live each Thursday night at 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern here on Spreaker. Or you can catch the archive show at Relics Radio on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other podcast outlets. Relics Radio is also syndicated on GoodTalkRadio.com and has a show each Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. Arizona time. Please take a minute and hit the like button and be sure and follow us so that you'll get notifications of all of our upcoming broadcasts. You can also find us on YouTube at Diggin' with 7 or Tennessee Jeff, or you can check us out on our Relics Radio Facebook group page or Adventures in History on Facebook. If you'd like to get in touch with us, then send an email to relicsradio@outlook.com. We'd love to hear from you. We hope you'll join us for our next episode, and until then, get out there and dig some history.